Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar on how to create boom cards. My name is Tu, and I help manage the customer support and sales teams here at Boom Learning. We know you've been asking for this webinar, so here it is. But that's not all. We've organized webinars for the next 2 months, primarily dedicated to teaching you how to create boom cards. In fact, next Wednesday, we have a 2-hour webinar presented by Monica M. She is an SLP and an expert boom card creator. She's going to share her tips and tricks on how to create escape rooms, flashlight cards, puzzles that reveal a hidden picture, invisible ink, and even how to use flow magic. So if you stay to the very end of this webinar, we'll share the registration link with you, and you'll be the first ones to be able to register for this webinar. Since seats are limited, spots for this webinar might be in high demand. So if you can register first, you can secure a spot in next week's webinar. So just a couple of housekeeping items. Today's webinar will be recorded. You'll be able to view the recording on our YouTube channel, and we'll also send all the registrants a link to the recording. So not to worry, you'll be able to see the recording and it'll be emailed to you. It's also being live streamed on our Facebook page. And if you want to know how to find our Facebook page, it's called Boom Teachers when you search for it. In fact, we have a chat box where you can drop all your comments, which I see folks are actively using right now. You can drop comments throughout the webinar. If you click on that chat box right now, you'll be able to find links for our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, and a link to our webinar feedback survey. Now, after the webinar, we really would appreciate it if you filled out the survey. We really do take your feedback to heart. We also have a Q&A box at the bottom. If you check that out right now, you'll see it. Please post your questions here and not in the chat box, so everyone can see your question and the answers to them. At the end of the webinar, we're going to have a live Q&A, and that'll last for about 10 minutes. So make sure you stay till the end so you can take advantage of that live Q&A. And if you would like your question to be answered live, please just put a note next to your question that says answer live. So before we start, I would love to know more about you all. So I'm going to start a poll here, and I'd like you to take a few minutes or a minute to answer the questions in the poll. So there it goes. All right, let's see here. So we asked a couple questions like, what's your primary teaching specialty? And we're seeing lots of special ed, lots of speech therapy, as well as general ed, and other as well. So I see a lot of therapists there from occupational psychology and where other. That's great. There are folks joining us from Canada, Asia, Australia, the Caribbean, Central America, Europe, South America, and elsewhere. Welcome, everyone. We're so happy to have you. And I see the chat box lighting up. Thanks so much for telling us where you're joining us from. And we also want to know, since this is a webinar about creating boom cards, we want to know, how far along are you? Are you a newbie? Have you been doing this for a while? And we see the vast majority are newbies here, and that's absolutely fine. We're going to take you step by step in this process on how to create boom cards. So not to worry. And if you've been creating for a while, some of this will be a refresher for you, and hopefully you'll learn a thing or two from this webinar. So thank you so much for answering those questions. And let me tell you what we're going to do today. So where I'm going to share my screen with you and show you what this webinar is going to cover. I hope everybody can see that. Okay, so today we're going to cover how to get images from the Boom store, how to use text, buttons, and images, how to drag and drop, fill in the blank, how to use fill in the blank, multiple choice with pictures, a caption pic, and how to embed sounds and videos into your Boom cards. So it's going to be a pretty informative webinar. So we really hope you enjoy it. Let me just stop sharing right now. Okay, so in addition to that, I think I've covered everything. So I'm going to hand it over to our first presenter, who is Kyle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Creating Boom Cards. My name is Kyle. I am a customer success specialist with Boom Learning, and I want everyone here to learn how to use Boom cards and make them. I think making them is a lot of fun. So I'm going to very quickly share my screen, and I need host to be able to share. There we go. Thank you. This is the boomlearning.com homepage where I am signed into my account. And I'm going to start just by introducing you to the studio page, which if I click this little tab up here, you can go to your studio. I have set a picture for my author, and I've set a name. I've even written a little biography about this author page, which other people can see. Today, though, we're going to focus mostly on the asset managers down here. I'm going to start quickly with images because this is a very important, almost a fundamental part of your Boom cards is what do they look like? What are the pieces that make them? If you click on that images manager, you can go and see all of the images that you're working with. You can see I've already collected a few free clip art from the Boom store, which I'll show you in just a moment. You can also upload images with this blue button here. So if you follow the link in the chat, which I think I can share with you there, there is an FAQ that has a zip file that has some starter images and sounds in it that you can put on your local machine and then upload it with this little button, which is how I got my picture of a bee here. Don't worry, we are recording this, so if you can't follow along exactly, unzipping that file and uploading, don't worry. We will put it on YouTube for you, so you can still follow along. The store page, though, is a good place to start to get clip art as well. And I like to go to the Images tab, and you can see if you go to the store page, it may start you on Featured. But if I go to Images and then using this little drop down, you can search Price Low to High, which lets you see images that are 0 points, which are free. So you can actually type, let's see, I want to look for food, not relevance, but price low to high, and you can get some little pieces of clip art for free here. Here's a vegetable grocery bag, grains, and fruit. This will probably be useful for drag and drop. As you can see, the little items are in my shopping cart, which is in the upper right corner. And then you can see those items and you can check out, click OK. Purchase is complete. I apologize if I'm going really fast, but this is kind of fun. If you go back to Studio and you click Images again, you can see I now have some clip art here that you can use to make boom cards with. I'm going to go back, and it's a similar little interface for fonts, which I don't have any, but you can upload them or get them from the Boom store in the same way I got the clip art. And sounds, which are not on the Boom store currently, but if you upload recordings of your voice, In a .mp3 or .m4a file, you can actually collect sounds and incorporate those into your boom cards too. Now for the most important one here is the make decks, and I'm going to click on that one, and this is your decks manager. This is where you can see all of the boom cards that you're making. You can see I have some that I'm making, and Johnny, who will be speaking shortly, shared with me. You can use this button up here to make a new deck just by clicking there, or you can search through your decks here. There's also ways here you can see to clone, which is basically to copy another deck of this deck that you're working on that's you can make adjustments to and change. So you can make a deck kind of like a template that you could make lots of other things with. You can share it, which means to put it into someone else's library, and that lets them assign it to their students and collect data from it. So that's how you give something you're working on to someone else for free if you want to. If you want to teach from it yourself, you can privately publish with this little button in the middle to private publish. And you can see here, this one I have published privately, and you click it again to unpublish it. So you can kind of just click it back and forth to publish them or unpublish them. And transfer gives it to someone else to work on it, and you wouldn't be able to edit that one anymore. So I recommend making a copy and then transferring the copy so that you can work on things collaboratively with one another. That's it for my part. I'm going to hand the presentation off now to Johnny, who will talk more about how to actually make the boom cards in the deck editor itself and how to put them together and make them do things.
Thank you, Kyle. So hello, everyone. My name is Yani Rosado. I'm a former special education teacher working with Boom Learning, and I'm super excited to be here to show you around the deck editor and how you can start creating your own boom cards. So I'll be sharing my screen right now. Okay, so here is the deck editor. Let's go back. So this is a studio. If you go to make decks, you'll be able to click here, click the new deck button, and it will create a new blank deck. For today, I'm going to click on this because this is the deck that we'll be kind of doing today. It is a social story deck about sorting clothes by color. We sent you a zip, like a file with these images and sounds, so you could like follow along with the webinar. If you didn't saw that on the email, we'll be sharing the FAQ where the file is. And we also, in that FAQ, we have written instructions. So after the webinar, because this is being recorded, you'll find those written instructions and the images and sounds so you can follow along with the recording and, you know, go on your own pace. So this is the deck editor. This is where the magic happens. This is where you let your creativity flow. So let's start with the top bar here. We have the top bar. We have here a toolbar where you have all of the actions that you can do with the widgets, which are here. What you see here, the text button. And then we have this on this side, we have a template card and all of the cards of the deck. Remember, if you have any questions, put them on the Q&A box and we'll be answering that in the live Q&A at the end. So let's start. So at the top bar, we have here the undo and redo buttons. So everything you do on the cards, you'll be able to undo or redo. Here we have the preview button. So you can see what you're doing with your card and if it's working, if it's not, you can go there and you'll be able to preview what you're doing. Here we also have the print button. That button will take you to download what you're doing as a PDF, so you can then print that out. And we have the details button. If you click on there, you'll be able to see that you'll be able to change the cover image, the title. Here's the cover image, the title of the deck. You can put the grades, some keywords, so you can find that in your library after. And you can change the subject and what it is about, like a short description of the deck. And so also here in the details button, you'll be able to find the randomized cards or flow magic actions or like defaults. So if you click on randomize cards, the default is to randomize cards. So if you don't want your deck to randomize the cards, you just uncheck that box. And we also have flow magic, which allow you to have like a conditional logic throughout your cards, and you can add some buttons that will take you from one card to another card. This is useful for escape rooms and puzzles and all of those decks. In the next webinar on next Wednesday, we'll be covering flow magic and all different ways you can create boom cards. So today we're covering the basics. So that is what you can do on the details. You can also click on private publish, and then it will take this deck to your library, so you can assign right away. So this is what you see on the top bar here. Now let's move on to the template card. So this is super great if you have or if you want some item to be in all of the next cards. This is where you put that, so you don't have to keep doing the same thing in all of the rest of the cards. So everything you do on the template card, it will appear in the rest of the cards. So let's just say I'm adding an image, or I don't know, this Tip Tuesday's image. As you can see, it appeared in the rest of the cards. So everything you want, if you have like little logo or specific instruction, you can put that on the template card and it will appear in the rest of the cards. So let's go ahead, and here, this little button that you see on the template card is the sliced order. So with this, you can, if you click on there, you'll be able to rearrange the order of the cards of the deck, and also add new cards, delete cards, duplicate cards, which we'll be covering after this. But you can do all of this from the slide sorter, which is right here on the template card. So let's move on to here, cards. So here's where you can see all of the cards from your deck. This plus button is to add new cards, like new blank cards. This button that you see here is to add new cards with images as a background. So we have another webinar that will be covering how to use PowerPoint to create boom cards, or Canva to create boom cards. And this button is for that. So let's say I created like a template for my boom cards and I want to create a new card with that. If you click on that button, it will tell you this is for PowerPoint users. So I created that, save it as an image from PowerPoint. And if I click on here and then click OK, you'll see that it created a new card with that template from PowerPoint. So this is super useful if you're like more tech savvy on PowerPoint. You can do that. That's like a tip. Here you can duplicate that card. So like any cards you can duplicate. So if you have an activity that you're planning to do like 5 cards with that same activity, but with like other items, you can duplicate the card and, save time. So let's say I want to duplicate this. If you click on here, you see you duplicate that card. And also we have the delete card button. So that's what you can see here. From here, you'll be also able to rearrange the order of the cards or delete or add more cards. So here we have the widgets cards, or like the items bar, I'm sorry. So here we have all that you can add to boom cards, to your boom card. So we have text, we have button, images, caption pic, fraction, multiple choice, multiple pictures, like multiple choice with pictures, fill in the blank, sound, and videos. So I'll be like showing you how to use all this in a second. Here at the other side, at the right side, we have the toolbar. So here's where you can give actions to all of the items that you just put on the card. So we have correct, incorrect answer, draggable, drop zone, and all of the like edit features you can do with those items. So now let's move on to show you how to use the widgets. So I'm going to click on that plus button to add a new blank card. So the first thing with the first widget that we see is text. So I'm going to click on text and drag and drop that widget to the card. So you see it will say click to edit text. So let's just click, you need to double click, then delete. And let's say for this card, we have help Joe sort his clothes by color. So this text, you'll be able to edit the font. If you like select all text, you can go here and change the font. We have some very good fonts for free on there, so you can select whichever you want to. You can also change the size of the text. Let's say one here, and all of the things you can do in like PowerPoint or Canva or your favorite place to do like this sort of things. You can change the color like right here. And then in the toolbar in the right side, if you go here, you'll be able to see that you can make this text a correct or incorrect answer, a draggable or a drop zone. Also, you'll be able to see that you'll be able to duplicate that text if you want that like the same, let's say font, size, color. You can duplicate that text and just type your new like text. You'll be able to delete. Here you see the position of that text with like a specific data that you can use to like align with other items in the card. You'll be able to rotate and change the size of it. Here you can, I always use this. So right now it is like more like to the side. So if you click here, you'll be able to see that it put it on the center. So you can center that horizontal or vertical. Let's click on here. The align, if you want it on the top, on the left, or button. See, order is great if you have like many items. What this do is they put the items, like they rearrange the order of the items. So if you want one on top of the other, that's where you do it. So you can put rear, back, forward, or front. So here's where you do that. So let's say we have like a drag and drop, like drag the apples to the basket, and you have like a lot of apples, one on top of the other. So there's where you put maybe one that you want. Do you want a green one on top of red one? That's where you do that. Item is to lock that item so you don't, I don't know, accidentally move it around the card. So if you lock it, it will stay there. Here you can like the transparency of the item. Here's where you do that. The border, you can add border to all of the items that you can use in Boom. And also you can change the background of all of the items that you can do, you can add on Boom. So here I added a text for instructions. And now let's add an image. So I do the same thing. I click on the image widget and then drag and drop that to the cart. It will take me to my images library. So if you downloaded and uploaded the images to Boom, you'll find your images here, like this. So you can choose right now, let's say we have a dirty sock. Okay, here. So you can rearrange the size of the item with this like blue boxes. So if you click on there, you'll be able to rearrange the size of this. So you can put it here. And then like I mentioned before, if you want that on the center, you can go here, click there, and there it is. So we have added to the card a text, an image, and none of these have actions. So let's add some actions to this. So let's go ahead and add some buttons, like having like a multiple choice with buttons if you want to do that. And let's put colors. So you can see the button is already like, it has that line, like that green line or outline, that it will tell you that that is set as a correct answer. So if you add a button to it, it will automatically be set as a correct answer. So in this case, it is correct. So now I'm going to duplicate that button. So I go to the toolbar, I select duplicate, and then I don't have to like do, maybe if I change the color to it, because you can change the color of the background and the border right here. So let's say I put wax, and now I'm going to duplicate again, select it and put it right here. And let's say I put white. So as you can see, the outline of these buttons, it says that all of them are correct answers. So let's go ahead and click on the incorrect answers. So you click on it, then go here and change it to wrong. So let's do the same for this one. And now we have added text to the card. We have added buttons and images. So now let's go ahead and change the color of the background. So we go here to the toolbar. And then at the very end, you'll see border and background. So let's just change the color, I don't know, to this one. Okay, you click on apply and it will change. You can change, you can add an image as a background or change the color. So now that we have this, let's go ahead and preview what we've done. So if we click here at the top bar, preview, and let's say we click on blacks. So it will tell the student, whoops, that's not the correct answer. So they get that instant feedback. So now let's go ahead and click on colors. You will say yes and move on to the next one. So that's how you add text, buttons, and images. So you can create buttons with text, like button is like already made for you. So you can just edit this, but you can also create buttons with text if you want to. So let's say we want to add some like instructions, but with sound. In this case, the sound that I have is touch the dirty clothes. So let's just say I added this, that sound. So let's go back. I'm going to show you. So go to the sound button or widget, click on it and drag and drop it to the card, whatever you want it. And then let's just choose the sound. So let's say I put touch the dirty clothes. For sounds, you can also change the background image. So if you don't want that like sound icon, you can change the background image of the sound, and you can select the sound to be autoplay or to be or if the student will need to click on the sound icon. So let's say I want it to be autoplay. So when the student goes to the card, the sound will appear. So let's go ahead and preview that. Touch the dirty clothes. So as you can see, I didn't have to like click on anything. It like appear right away. But like I mentioned, you can change that setting. So after you added the sound, you can click on it. And then here, the toolbar at the right side, you can see the autoplay checkbox. So if you don't want it, just click on it. And then the student will need to go to the icon to hear that instruction. So that's how you add text. That's how you add text, button, images, and sound. So now let's go ahead and add some caption pics, which is super amazing if we are doing this with like a drag and drop option. So let's go ahead and I'm going to duplicate this card like I mentioned before. So if I have like a default settings like a instructions or sound, I can duplicate that card and save time. So let's go ahead and duplicate that card right here. So if you can see that like orange or yellow message, pop-up message. So you select the card and then click on clone and it will clone that card. So right now I'm going to remove these items. So I just click on them and then remove that. So now let's go into click on Caption Pic, drag and drop that into the card. And then you'll be able to see that it already have a border to it. It have the image and it have a caption, like a text to it. So if you click on that, like double click on image, you can select the image that you want. So let's say I have the same one, let's say, here it goes. And we have 30. So as you can see, we have created a caption pic. So you already have the border, the text, and the image. So if you have the important thing with this is that if you want to have it as a draggable or as a correct answer, it will take the whole thing. So it would not take only like the image or the text, it will take the whole thing. So let's go ahead and center that. Let's just add more caption pics as like options. So I'll click on it, drag and drop, and now let's add the baskets. So we're going to look for them. So we have this one, which is colors. And like I mentioned before, you can add more or you can duplicate. So if you select that and you click on duplicate, you can you will have that same thing. So again, double click on the image and then choose the image that you want. And then again, double click on the text. Oops, sorry, my computer is slow. Okay. And then blacks. And now I'm going to duplicate that again. And now let's say we're adding the whites. There you go. So now we have a dirty talk and we have the different baskets, colors, blacks, whites. So what can we do here? We can select like the baskets to be set at correct or incorrect answers, or we can have them as drop zones. So let's go ahead and put this as put the dirty sock. Let's just put this let's just resize this to a little smaller. So if we're going to do, let's put it like this. Okay. So for drag and drop, for the drag and drop feature, the draggable will need to be smaller than the drop zone. So let's go ahead and put all of the drop zones like bigger. For this one, you can later rearrange like what is inside of the containers. So for now, we're going to do this. And then the dirty sock, we're going to select that, like select the border of it because you're selecting the container. And let's make that a draggable. So this is how you create the drag and drop feature, which is super amazing. If you let your creativity flow, you can use this as many ways as you want to. So we have just created the dirty sock, a draggable item. So you can see that pointing hand appear on that container. So that means that is a draggable. So you can have as many draggables as you want on a specific card. But yeah, that draggable should go somewhere or not. So let's go ahead and select all of our answers as like the answer options as drop zones. So that's where we're going to drop our sock, our draggable. So you click on it and then you click you see drag and drop options. You have draggables and you have drop zones. So the drop zone will have that flag. And what you need to do to connect that draggable with the specific drop zone is you're going to take that pointing hand and you're going to move it to the flag of the drop zone that you want to, that to go to. So as you can see, it just made a line connecting the draggable with the drop zone. So if you have multiple draggables that will go into a specific drop zone, you'll be able to see. I'm going to duplicate so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to connect that draggable with the drop zone, and then if you click on the drop zone, you click on it, so that pop-up message. Okay. If you click on the drop zone, you see that you'll be able to select if the student should drop at least one of the two of them, or exactly one, or exactly two. So this is super important if you're, I don't know, making like a addition a deck, and if you want like the student 2 + 2 =, and you want the student to drop 2, specifically 2, that's how you do that. So for now, I'm going to delete these. We're only using that. So as you can see, I didn't connect the sock with the blacks or the colors because it is white. So we're going to preview that. So we go to the top bar, click on preview, and then we have the audio, which I unchecked the autoplay. So if I want to hear that, I need to click on it. So right now, help Joe sort his clothes by color. So let's say the student put this on the colors basket. Oops. It tells him, nope, it's not the colors one. And it lets him choose of the other options. So now let's say he put it on the black one. Oops. Nope, that's not where it goes. So if he put it on the whites, oops, let me see. Oh yeah, I know what happened. Sorry. That's because we added that. We added the other one. So I'm going to do that again. So duplicate and then change the image. So if that happened to you, you know what to do. Connect that draggable with the drop zone. Now, let's see. And there you go. So that's what happened because we added 2. It was already with that. Okay, so that's how you do the drag and drop. So this is pretty simple, like a simple deck, but you can do that however you want to. I know you may have played with drag and drop in other decks. So that's how you do the drag and drop option. So you have it right here. The important thing is to link that draggable to the specific drop zone. So we have play with text, button, images, caption pic, and sound. So now we can also add fractions. We're not be covering this in a specific card, so I'm just going to add it to this one. So if you drag and drop that fraction, it is like a default like template for you to edit it. So we have here, you can edit this, this, and this. So you don't have to worry about like having to actually create that fraction. So we have that for you already. So all those math teachers, that's for you. So yeah, we have covered fraction, and now we go to multiple choice. So we have 2 multiple choice in Boom. I don't know if you have played with that. Let's duplicate a card. So we have that instructions. And I'm going to delete the buttons. So I click on that, and then with the delete on the keyboard, I just delete that. So now let's go ahead and add that multiple choice. So click on it, drag and drop into the card, and then you see it automatically have as a default 1 correct answer, and the rest are incorrect answers. So you can add as many as you want, or you can just remove, you can remove items from the multiple choice. So now let's say, also you can have as many as correct answers as you want or as incorrect. So right now we only have 1. So let's say that's colors. Let's change it, double click, change it to white, and then blacks. So if you click on the container, at the bottom of the toolbar, you see that you can change the property to flow. What this will do is it will change like the order of the items. It could also be fixed. So if you want this like here and the other one here, you can choose that. I just going to use the grid one, and then you can change the number of columns. And here is the important thing with the multiple choice. So it automatically says as a default to randomize the items. But if you don't want that, that is so students don't memorize where the correct answer is. But if you don't want that, you can uncheck that box. But for now, we're going to leave it like that. So because we randomize the items, if we go to preview, you're going to be able to see that it changed the order. So let's say we have colors, white and blacks. So if we preview that, you saw that it changed the order. So if we click here, it is not, this is the colored one. So like I mentioned, you can uncheck that and it will you know, not randomize the cards. You can change the color of the background and the color of the border. And like we have multiple choice with text, let's go ahead and remove that and add the multiple choice with pictures. So we also have this. So let's say I'm going to remove these, and we're going to be adding the different baskets. Oh, no, this is the color one, because like I mentioned, this is set as the correct one. You can change that the toolbar. So let's go ahead and add the different baskets. And now let's preview that. So it's the same thing because it was set as randomized, it will randomize the options. So yeah, we have it like that. It's the exact same thing as text, but with images. And lastly, oh yeah, that we have two. So we have the fill in the blank box. So if you drag and drop that into the card, you'll see you'll be able to rearrange the size of this fill in the blank box. So if you double tap to edit that fill in the blank box, you'll be able to add multiple answers or one answer. You'll be able to choose to be the answer to be numeric or open response. So students can type whatever they want, and then the teacher will have to manually like correct that. So let's put here colors. And maybe the student can also put color. So we have different options for the student. And then if we go to preview, let's say the student put white. Oops. It will tell them, nope, that's not the answer. So now let's say we put color, and remember, we also put colors. So if we put color, it will take either answer. So you can type as many answers as you want. So that's the fill in the blank. And we also have video. So I'm going to remove that. So right now you can add videos to your cards using Vimeo, like the Vimeo URL. So you can upload your video to Vimeo or take a video from Vimeo, copy the URL and add it right here. And yeah, you can have this, like you can rearrange the size of the video. That's super helpful. And lastly, you can add GIFs to your cards. So if let's say you're choosing one from, I cannot take this, okay. Let's say you're choosing one from Google or Yahoo in this case. So if you're using one from Google or Yahoo, you can copy the image address and paste it on the card. So using your keyboard, you can either click Command V or Control V, I think it is on Windows. So as you can see, you can add GIFs to your cards to make it even more fun. Or if you're dragging and dropping a GIF that you create, it will need to be 300 kilobytes, less than 300 kilobytes. So that's how you add GIFs. And now let's go ahead and see the different ways you can like create this deck after when you have the recording. So I have here, Joe used all of his clothes this week. Touch the dirty clothes. And if we click on the audio, touch the dirty clothes, he'll be able to hear and select the dirty clothes. We have touch the washer machine. Here we have touch the dirty basket or the basket. We added blacks, whites. We added audio to each basket. Blacks. Here too. So here we have the drag and drop where Joe should like put this on the black basket. So that's how you can use the drag and drop feature. Same here. And so you can keep on going with your creativity and create however you want this deck. So I hope this was helpful. We have the next webinar about creating with Flow Magic and cards and decks like escape rooms and hidden image and with the flashlight. So make sure to register for that. So that is my part. And now we're going to pass over to the live Q&A.
Hi, thank you so much, Johnny and Kyle. That was very informative. I know a lot of you have been saying in the chat, this is moving a little fast, and not to worry, we are recording this. We're going to send you an email with a link to the recording, and you can also go to our YouTube channel, which we'll relink in the chat to see that tutorial other webinars and a ton of other how-to videos. So you'll be able to follow along with the recording, not to worry. We've got a ton of questions, and most of them have been answered by our great Boom agents who are working behind the scenes here. But I found some that there's some really great questions, and I wanted to ask Johnny to answer it live for everybody. Mm-hmm. First off, do you have to have a paid subscription to make Boom cards? And what about using sounds and videos? Do you have to have a paid subscription to use that too?
Okay, so we have different memberships right now in Boom Learning. So the free one, the starter one, allows you, I think, to create 5 decks. So you don't need to pay for a membership in Boom to create your Boom cards, but you do have a limit. So after that, we have, I think we start at $15 the membership. So we have different memberships that you can create a lot, like unlimited Boom cards. And to add sound to your cards, you need to have the premium one. So yeah, to add sound, maybe many of you didn't saw that sound icon, and that's why you need the premium one. So
I think we have new memberships available now, and if you want to create more than, I think if you want to create more than 5 Boom cards, you'd have to upgrade to the premium. So I think that will also enable you to add videos as well. So what about using your own photos and your own clip art? Can you upload your own photos and clip art to the Boom Studio?
Yes, so like Kyle mentioned and showed at the beginning, we have that. I'm going to share my screen because I think it's easier. We have the images box. Let me go back to the studio. And right here, if you go to images, you can upload your own images. If you have photos of your students or yourself, you can add those to your Boom cards. Just make sure that you don't publish that to sell because for privacy reasons. But if you're doing that for yourself, of course, you can add any photo that you want on Boom Learning by going here or dragging and drop that image to your card.
Great. Another question is, when Boom cards are not privately published, can you assign those to your students? Or a user asked, her Boom cards are not privately published and she can't assign them to her students. What can she do?
Yeah, you'll need to private publish your decks. What private publish will do is just add that deck to your private library. So no one will be able to see that deck, only you and the students that you assign that deck to. So yeah, you will need to private publish your created decks.
Okay. Carrie asked, are you going to share the completed laundry deck that you showed in your presentation with everyone? Right now, the downloaded files only included how to make those items of how to make that. So will you be sharing the laundry deck?
Oh, the laundry deck. Yeah, I can share it if you want to. I can put it on the store for free if you wanted that deck. That's a social story. So yeah, if you want to use that, I can share that with you guys. I did share all the images and sound, so you can create that deck however you want to. So yeah.
How will they find the deck in the store?
Okay, that's a good question. I didn't thought of that. So maybe I can add yeah, like sorting, or maybe adding, I don't know, maybe I'll send that to you in the follow-up email, but maybe sorting clothes by color, and I can put like in parentheses, creating webinars a deck, so you can find that in the store.
And also we'll try and link that deck in the follow-up email to everybody. So anyone who registered, they're going to get a follow-up email that will include a link to the recording of this webinar, as well as a link to Johnny's laundry deck. So you can download that for free. Okay.
And also the zip with all the images and sound, it is in the FAQ. So you can go there, and the written instructions. So if you're more like a reader, you can go ahead and download that.
A lot of people asked, can you import images from Google Slides like you can from PowerPoint?
Yeah, so you can create those and then download that slides as images. So that's that's the thing. You need to download it as an image and then upload it to Boom as a background. So that's what that button do, like the PowerPoint button. What that will do is add a new card with that image as a background. So that's the thing. You need to download it as an image.
Yeah, I think you need to save it as a JPEG or a PNG, and then upload. Then you can upload it into your Boom Studio. So there's that. Let's see, what else have they been asking a lot of? Is it possible, as you saw, Johnny demonstrated how to embed an animated GIF, but Kelly's having issues with the ones that she downloaded. So when she goes to preview the Boom card where she embedded a GIF, it's not moving.
Yeah, so Boom compressed the size of the image. So like I mentioned, it will need to be less than 300 kilobytes. So if your GIF is larger than that, it will appear as a static image. So if you want that GIF to move, it will need to be of the size of less than 300 kilobytes.
Okay, so the GIF's it has a size limit, and that's probably what's happening there. It's just too big.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you're adding the GIFs from, like I mentioned, Google or Yahoo, you'll need to you need to copy the image, the GIF URL. So that's what I did. Copy and paste the URL and it will appear.
Okay, and just asked again, how did you import that GIF again? So that was good. All right, perfect. So that brings us to the end of our webinar today, and we thank you all for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the webinar. I'm going to just quickly paste some of the important stuff in the chat that we pasted in the very beginning, but probably got lost with all of the comments there. So now you can see it again. Let's just recap what we learned today. So we learned how to create Boom cards and how to get images from the Boom store, how to use text, buttons, and images, how to use drag and drop, fill in the blank, multiple choice with pictures, how to use a caption pic, and how to embed sounds and videos into your Boom cards. I know it was a lot, and hopefully when you do, if you do need a refresher on that, you'll be able to watch the recorded video, which will be emailed to you. Now, just a friendly reminder to fill out the webinar feedback form. Your opinion really matters to us. In fact, a lot of the features that we developed for our Boom cards come because customers suggested it to us. So the founders of Boom cards really do hold your opinion in high regard. So if you look in the chat box, you'll see a link to the webinar feedback form. Please take a moment to fill that out after this webinar. And also, let me show you how to get help if you need more after this webinar. Hope you're seeing this image here. Oh, no, there it is. So you are going to be able to email us at help@boomlearning.com. You can visit our website at wow.boomlearning.com. You can also call us at 833-WOW-BOOM. And when you do go on your, when you are in your account, you have access to the Help Center that has a lot of FAQs that include videos that will help you figure out how to utilize our platform better. So please join us for the next webinar. And it's going to be tips and tricks for creating game style boom cards with Monica M. And like Johnny said, she's going to be showing you how to create all these crazy boom cards that include escape rooms, invisible ink, which I actually haven't seen, puzzles that reveal a hidden picture. And she'll go into more detail on how to use flow magic, which is conditional logic, which is really cool for things like choose your own adventure. So stay tuned for that. If you check your chat box right now, you'll see the link to the registration link to Monica's webinar, which will be next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So for those who had joined us here, you're going to get the first opportunity to register for that webinar. And we can't wait to see you next week. And in the meantime, happy booming. We'll see you later. Bye.